Hello there and welcome to this week's edition of Creative Critique. The newly released cinematic film that I saw this week was the new film by Keanu Reeves, John Wick. Who is John Wick? John Wick is an ex-hitman who retired out of that profession to be with his wife, Bridget Monahan. It is revealed very quickly that Bridget Monahan has died of an unnamed disease or illness, and Keanu Reeves is then trying to cope with that loss. In order to help him cope with that loss, his wife has left him or bought him a puppy. So it's a nice last gift from her to him. So he forms a very, very quick bond with this puppy. Keanu Reeves goes about his general life in general business normally. So he goes to a gas station just to get some gas for his car. And he comes across a couple of gangsters, one played by Alfie Allen. He takes a shine to his car. He's got a very nice car. And Keanu Reeves insults them pretty much for insulting him. And later on, they come to his house and steal his car and kill his dog. What goes on from here? I think we all know what's going to go on from here, don't we? It is clearly a revenge kind of film. And as is revealed, it is not just purely the fact that they killed his dog and stole his car. It's because the dog was partly a gift from his dying wife. And it then turns into, what does it turns into? It is, in my opinion, pretty much the epitome of a B movie. What was it made for? This film was made for about 20 million. A modest amount of money, to be fair, for the genre of action. It stars at the moment you say not A-list star, but somebody who's trying to be on the comeback trail. Reminds me a little bit in the way of Kurt Russell in a way, from things like The Thing and Escape from New York in terms of that leading man. But it also falls in. It reminds me quite a bit of Taken, obviously. Given the genre. But whereas with Taken, I watched that a few years after all the hype, and I didn't quite think it was good as the hype made it out to be. This, I'd heard decent things about, but I didn't quite think I'd enjoy it as much as I did. It's fair to say that Keanu Reeves is an acquired taste, and he definitely never overacts, does he, Keanu Reeves? What he does is a Keanu Reeves stick if he wants. He clearly has appeal because he's managed to appear in some of the most successful movies of the 90s and 2000s. And he's a very big action star by any means of the imagination, so he's got that going for him. But yeah, going back to the B-movie references, and the reason why I say that is obviously because the Keanu Reeves aspect, the amount of money it was made for. When you actually look at the cast that is involved as well as him, I'm just going to go through the names. So we'll start with there's a large majority of very prominent TV actors or actresses involved in this film. We'll start with Alfie Allen, who was of course in Game of Thrones at this moment in time. And we also have Dean Winters, who has appeared in 30 Rock. He's appeared in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. There's also Adrian Palicki, who's appeared in many things. Most recently, she's in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And there's also lots of HBO references in there, because also involved is Thomas Sadowski, who appeared in The Newsroom. He's only in it for one scene, but it's a very good scene. Very few words, and I hope he got paid well for not for the number of words, but for his appearance in this film, because he didn't have much to do or say, but he's effective in that one scene as a cop. And there's also two actors from The Wire, also Clark Peters, who briefly appears, and oh bloody hell, I've forgotten my other bloody. It is Lance Reddick, of course. Lance Reddick, who's a recurring role as a hotel manager. or is it concierge? Sorry, a hotel concierge. And he makes himself known, and you feel the effect of his performance in this film. So yeah, it's an eclectic sort of a cast, so very prominent and specifically chosen TV actors, and also B-movie, what I would consider B-movie actors also. John Leguizamo appears in 2 scenes, to good effect. So does Ian McShane. He's in 2 or 3 scenes also. And who I'm always glad to see, Willem Dafoe. Love Willem Dafoe. He's one of those actors I think I could watch in anything. Even his terrible films, he's probably the most entertaining in those. I put him alongside people like Steve Buscemi and John Turturro. There's just something in their performance that you don't quite get with other actors. So they're always a good watch. So that's the whole. Like I say, it's a quite eclectic cast. And yeah, but it's fair to say there's not a lot of dialogue to go through with these actors. But I think they've been specifically chosen because of their ability, because of their very, very good actors and actresses. And they can do more with less, if you will. Let's get into the fight scenes, because it's all about the fight scenes in the end. That is the pivotal crux of this film. He obviously tries to exact revenge on the gangsters, particularly Alfie Allen. And upon trying to get to Alfie Allen, he comes across Michael Enquist, who we didn't even mention in the actors before. But obviously he's the prominent Swedish actor who appeared in the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo films. Also appeared in Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. He again is the dad of Alfie Allen's gangster, and what then is obviously pursued is that Keanu Reeves just goes on an absolute. It's in a way it's called it's gun fu spree, because the way he fights, it's not taking it's just shoot, going past people. There's almost a ballet about the way he does the fight scenes. Keanu Reeves here, the opening one where Michael Enquist is sent people to kill him at his house because he knows he's going to be coming for him and his son. There's just something fabulous about that whole scene at the beginning. Yeah, and it's that's the thing. The thing about the fight scene is they feel fresh. They don't feel like a lot of the most recent action films. I hate to bring up Liam Neeson, but he's in a lot of very similar films at this moment in time where it's okay, Liam Neeson's doing this again. This is Keanu Reeves doing something you've kind of seen before, but not in the way it's done here. It's taking elements of things like kung fu and things like, not kung fu, but the way he moves and things like that. So yeah, some great fight scenes, some great solid support. It's perfect late night entertainment. Perfect late night entertainment. It's not going to change your life, the film, but you are going to enjoy watching this film without a doubt. So yeah, John Wick. There we go. I think that was a very, very good film I watched this week, and it didn't oversell itself. It didn't go over its time, and it's a nice, solid amount of time you spend watching it. So yeah, a very, very good film, I thought. So after watching that, I'll go on to my classic film of the week, which the only sort of element I could probably connect to John Wick is its not lack of dialogue, but saying more with less aspect. Its style is definitely different. The film in question is The French Connection, and I say we all know, but I think we all know Gene Hackman is Popeye Dial, anti-hero cop in this film. His partner is Roy Scheider, and the villain of the piece is Fernando Rey, the French actor. I think he's a French actor. I should have shared this. I think he's a French actor. But yeah, the hooks of the film is Gene Hackman and Roy Schneider are New York cops trying to make busts as normal, trying to bust drug rings in New York. Fernando Rey is a French criminal and drug peddler who was quite a big drug empire in France. He is now trying to make his mark in America, and he's gone to New York to try and sell his gear, effectively. So yes, you got the premise there. What people tend to remember about this film, other than Gene Hackman's tour de force performance, I'd say, in this film, an unscrupulous performance, is, I think, the realness of the film. Because of the realness, and I must comment upon the fact that this is based upon two actual New York cops and their investigation into a French Connection ring that's occurred in New York. And Gene Hackman and Roy Scheider both spent time with said original cops to garner aspects of the story and garner aspects of their character for this film. So that is why I think it feels so real. Because the setting feels real, the performances and characters seem real because they are. I'll comment upon particular scenes. I think are fabulous in this film. There's where they're tailing Fernando Rey and his associates from a hotel and to other locations where they're trying to find out obviously where he's keeping drugs, what the situation is, and there's a tenseness about as they're relaying against each other, as they're following somebody, and then somebody else then cuts in and follows the same person. It's really fascinating to watch that, because obviously when you think about surely you'd notice the tail, but not in this aspect. If people are sort of coming in and coming out of a situation, and you're not trying to look around and look suspicious yourself, you're not going to be noticing it as much. But yeah, it's very interestingly done there. And the other major scene that is always commented upon is the chase sequence under the Metro link in New York, the car chase Metro link, where Gene Hackman is during the film he's shot at by a sniper around a block of flats where he lives, and he's then chasing after this sniper, and he gets on the train system, and Gene Hackman then chases him in a pedestrian's car under the train link, and it is one hell of an outstanding scene, because as I've read up about this also, is although they got permits for a particular street to film, a lot of it they didn't, and most of those swerves and occasions where they're nearly hitting other cars are actually real, with real ongoing traffic. So that's another reason why the film feels real in that aspect, because even the action scene in this film is real, almost. It's 90% real. And there's a scene in particular where he crashes into a wall, which was apparently real, and they left in for that reason, because it felt so real. I keep saying real. Genuine, even. But yeah, and the end part of that sequence where he finally gets to catch up with the sniper is just one of the most iconic moments in the film, and it created one of the most iconic posters, I think, in the film. It's very rare that a poster features a scene. It was probably very common, actually, to be fair. It was very common at the time in the late 60s and early 70s. It was quite a common aspect. But it's one of those that is perfect and sums the film up so perfect. I won't describe what the poster is, because it will tell you what's going on. And I suppose if you look it up, you'll see it for yourself. So yeah, the performances are great in this film. Gene Hackman deservedly won a Best Actor Oscar. William Friedkin is the director of this film, and he always has an interesting look and feel to his films. We all know he followed this up after with making The Exorcist. And I mean, well, what more can be said about that film? I won't comment on it, but yeah, that's the sort of pedigree we're talking here with William Friedkin. He's always an interesting director to watch. He makes so few films that there's always an aspect about them you'll find something to like and some sort of angle to enjoy. So yeah, The French Connection, and I must say, considering crime films tend to sometimes be very bloated, it's fair to say. But with this, it's only an hour and 45 minutes. That's nothing. That is absolutely nothing for the quality of the performance, the quality of the action, the quality of the limited script, it must be said, and the atmosphere, and oh yeah, in the time they've had to make that film, it's just fabulous, truly wonderful. So yeah, I think I've had a fabulous week of film watching this week. Yeah. So yeah, John Wick. You'll enjoy it. I challenge you not to enjoy that film and The French Connection. Brilliant film. Brilliant film. So yeah, those were my theatrically released and theatrically released and classic films of the week. Once again, if you've enjoyed what I've done here today, please subscribe to me, and if you do, I hope to see and speak to you again. Thank you very much, and goodbye.